starting at $2,999. Washington County Legacy Park. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. 2 locations, Sandy and Hurricane. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Mountain America Expo Center, Washington County Legacy Park. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Hi, this is Doug Wright, and over the years, you've heard me praise the Connecticut soft water systems. You've heard that so often, you might be tempted to chuck a shoe at your radio. Well, hang on, because I've got some great news. Get this, Connecticut will pay you $50. I'm not kidding on this. They'll pay you $50 to buy a competing water softener from another dealer. Ready for the rules, though? Well, they're pretty simple. Invite Connecticut of Utah to your home for a free estimate on a Connecticut water softener. If within 60 days of hearing them out, you buy any other system from any other water softener dealer, Connecticut of Utah will fork over $50. That's how sure they are that after hearing them out, you won't settle for anything less than a Connecticut water softener. Now, this offer does expire in 30 days, so don't delay. Call Northern Utah's authorized Connecticut dealer, Connecticut Quality Water Systems of Salt Lake, 801-576-8600, or log on to softwaterutah.com. That's softwaterutah.com. Tell them Doug sent you.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Are you on your feet a lot? When traveling, do you find yourself sitting for long periods of time? Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical, and we have compression stockings that can help you. Our compression stockings are designed to improve circulation, reduce swelling, and provide unmatched comfort. Come check out all the different styles and fabrics. These aren't your great-grandparents' compression stockings. That's why we're excited to offer an amazing deal. Buy 3 pairs of compression stockings and get a free care kit. That's right, 3 pairs of compression stockings and get a free care kit. Come into any of our 11 locations and invest in your health this winter by embracing the benefits of compression. For more details, visit us at alpinehomemedical.com. That's alpinehomemedical.com.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Bigger stories demand more accountability, more experience, more trust.
If it's like an election day or we're expecting some bad weather,
KSL presents the story, unbiased.
it's a good local source.
We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Mountain America's limited time balance transfer bonus. Here's Eric Butler.
Still got southbound slowing, Bangalore Highway approaching 4700 south. That's the worst spot in the valley. Further down the line on Bangalore, 90th south is going to be slow approaching that intersection. Mountain View Corridor also slow approaching 3500 south. Again, this is on the southbound side heading away from the 201 highway. Good news if you're on I-15, no problems. Southbound from Salt Lake City through all of Salt Lake County and Utah County northbound heading up to Ogden. You don't have any delay spots anywhere. Lagoon is hiring full-time year-round ride maintenance technicians and electricians with journeyman or apprentice level experience. Apply online at lagoonpark.com/jobs. Must be 18 years of age or older to apply. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather, the overnight low 51 degrees. A record-setting 64 for tomorrow, then the 50s for Wednesday and Thursday. The 30s by the weekend is 64 degrees. I'm Jeff Kaplan, KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM, 1160 AM, KSLNewsRadio.com, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The following is a presentation of KSL Sports. Hello, Cougar Nation.
Top of the key, triple, Richie Saunders, 4th three-pointer of the night, massive make.
Every Monday night, we break down the Cougars' last game and look ahead to next week. Cougar Nation, brought to you by Central Bank. Here's BYU insider Mitch Harper and Matt Baiamonte on Utah's legacy home of the Cougars, KSL News Radio.
Good evening. Welcome on into Cougar Nation. Mitch Harper, Matt Baiamonte with you. Loaded hour coming up as we break down BYU basketball. The Cougs are rolling, 4-game win streak. Times are good right now for this BYU team as they get ready tomorrow night to take on number 20 Arizona inside the Marriott Center. And we're asking you, how much does that Marriott Center atmosphere change when a top 25 team rolls in to the Marriott Center? Let's bring in Matt Baiamonte now. And Matt, these are good times right now for Cougar Hoops, and they're also good times for us because Luka Doncic is a Laker, right?
Oh, wow. Man, that was a seismic trade of the NBA. But what BYU basketball doing right now, Mitch, is becoming seismic in the Big 12. They're moving up the standings. They've got a huge week ahead. You got to love the direction of this BYU basketball team.
That we do, and let's break it all down right here in the takeaways.
Cougar Nation takeaways. Mitch and Matt analyze BYU's last week of play and what it means for the next week.
BYU takes down UCF 81-75. You might think, yeah, UCF, that's not that big of a deal, right? Well, UCF's a quad one win. That's the Big 12. You know, teams that you would think their logo on the jersey doesn't register much thought, but UCF's been a good basketball team, particularly at home. They took down Texas A&M this year. They won a game at Lubbock against Texas Tech. So BYU took down that team 81-75 and got a coveted quad one road win. They're now 6-4 in Big 12 play, Matt. And, you know, what was some of your big takeaways coming out of this win for the Cougs?
I thought this was the most impressive win of the season so far, considering the lack of contributions that you got from your two talented freshmen and Dallin Hall. Yegor Demon made his only bucket of the game. Now, it was a critical one. It was a big-time three late in the game, but you get 3 points from him. It doesn't feel like you got much in terms of just impact from him. Cannon Catchings, who had that huge game against Baylor, did not follow up that game with a big offensive game. And then Dallin Hall continues to disappear, and it's hard to understand why he continues to disappear. But if you would have told me a quad one game on the road and you get next to nothing from those three players, which at the start of the season, if you wanted to pick three guys that you thought were the best players on the team, if not all three, two of those three would have been on everyone's top three, and they did not have a great offensive performance, and yet you win on the road, a quad one game. I just thought it was so impressive, the contributions of Mawot Mag, Keba Keita, Richie Saunders. I mean, he continues to shine. He continues to do what he does, but just a really, really impressive win where the supporting cast came up big.
That they did, and that supporting cast, you mentioned him, Mawot Mag, who I think we heard 17 different pronunciations of his name during that broadcast. Mawot Mag! It's like, come on. Like, that's why I was prompted to then put on social media, hey, here's the pronunciation from Mawot himself. But he has become more than anything I would have ever expected from him in his one season at BYU. Remember, Matt, when he signed out of the transfer portal, you just thought, he's a defensive guy. You never would have thought 19 points, 6 of 10 from the field, and then he adds 5 assists too.
Yep.
Kevin Young earlier today talked about the offensive improvements from Mawot Mag.
In terms of Mawot's offensive contributions, I think he's really buying into how we're playing. I think he stripped away some of the inefficient shots he was taking early on, where he's really streamlined things in terms of attacking the rim. I know he had 19 points last game, but him having 5 assists I thought was big too. His ability to put it on the deck, get to the paint, play off 2 feet, and kick it out for shots was a really good sight for me.
Really impressive performance, Matt, and I think his maturity in that starting 5, BYU, if we've noticed in recent games, feels like the Cougars are getting off to better starts. And, you know, you don't solely point it to one guy, but I think Mawot's helping out that cause.
And in a day and age where there's so much talk about unlimited transfers and NIL, it's nice to see a guy like Mawot Mag who came in, probably had high hopes of having a large role, and he wasn't playing at times in non-conference play, Mitch, but he waited his turn, he waited his time, and then lo and behold, his number was called. He was ready for it, and he delivered in a big way. That was a monster performance for Mag. My second takeaway, Mitch, the evolution of Richie Saunders is like nothing I've ever seen before at BYU. You look at his first 2 years, and he was a fan favorite, and he was a good player. How many of you at home know how many games Richie Saunders started in his career prior to Kevin Young getting the job? If you're guessing 0, you're incorrect. But if you guess 3, which is not far off from 0, you would be correct. 2 games started as a freshman, 1 last year as a sophomore under Mark Pope. And then this year he has exploded. He is well on his way to being a first-team All-Big 12 player. His three-point shooting numbers, and he was outstanding against UCF, Mitch. 6 of 9, making clutch buckets down the stretch. He's up to 45% from 3. That's nearly a 10 percentage point jump from last season. His scoring up, his three-point shooting is up, his overall field goal percentage is up, everything is up. I mean, this is a huge testament to Kevin Young and this staff that they were able to identify the right role for Richie, and now he is flourishing. He's going to be on NBA radars. I don't know if he's a second-round pick or a NBA Summer League guy, but this dude is clearly destined to play professional basketball at the highest level, and it's incredible. Just think about last year. We all wanted him back when he went to the portal. No one in their right mind, including me, you, and probably Kevin Young. Maybe Kevin Young saw this, but we certainly didn't. First team All Big 12, number one option on the team, leading the team in crunch time with clutch shot making. We did not see that last year at all from Richie, and for him to have become what he was a season ago to now, I can't think of any comparison from one year to another in the history of BYU basketball. It's unheard of. It's a testament to him and his work, and boy, is he fun to watch, Mitch.
What's impressive, too, is that his stats got better in Big 12 play. When you focus solely on the 10 games in Big 12, they've all jumped up. He's third in scoring in the Big 12. He's number one in three-point field goal percentage, number one in three-point field goals per game. Richie Saunders has been absolutely impressive. My final takeaway is just the fact that BYU had 17 turnovers against a UCF team that was speeding BYU up. I mean, that pressure after the half-court line, they were physical. And this first half, they weren't getting any fouls called on them.
Oh,
and BYU was getting sped up and coughing up the basketball. 17 turnovers, and they still win a game. I think that's a positive sign, too. And it also shows that when BYU's hitting the three, they can take down anyone in any venue. 14 threes for BYU. We got to take a break, though. On the other side, we'll get to more breakdown and answer the question of the day about the Marriott Center and the atmosphere that happens when a top 25 team rolls into Provo. We want to hear from you. 801-575-8255. Mitch Harper, Matt Baiamonte. It's Cougar Nation, sponsored by Central Bank, serving Utah County for over 133 years with trusted service, modern technology, and personalized care. Cougar Nation here on KSL.
Sometimes when our furnace stops working, it's something simple we can fix ourselves, if we only knew how. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and the next time your furnace stops working, before you call a company out to fix it, try this first. Go shut the furnace down and make sure your air filter is clean. Go around the house and make sure the vents are open and there's nothing blocking the return air. If it's been a while since you've changed the batteries in your thermostat, go ahead and do that too. Then go turn the furnace back on, and if it stays on, you're probably good. If it stops working again, you're probably going to want a technician to check it out. If you don't know one, Any Hour Services has a special offer for any homeowners listening. One of our HVAC technicians will diagnose and troubleshoot your furnace for only $29. Then they'll explain what they found and present you with repair options. And don't worry, our technicians service all brands. Call Any Hour Services and let them know you heard about this $29 troubleshooting special on the radio. 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Join KSL in the movie show this Friday from 10 to 1 at the Salt Lake NPS store, 1600 Empire Road in Salt Lake City. NPSstore.com.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Salt Lake City Fat Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally, and safely with no drugs or injections. No prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, or exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can lose weight quickly and keep the weight off for good with an easy-to-follow maintenance plan that includes ongoing personal support. And our program costs half as much and works up to twice as fast than most other programs. Go to slcfatloss.com to schedule your free consultation now.
I'm Maria Chaleos. I can't speak highly enough about Salt Lake City Fat Loss after losing more than 40 pounds. Right now, you can save $200 with their New Year's special. Just go to slcfatloss.com.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Schedule your free consultation now at slcfatloss.com. That's slcfatloss.com. Results may vary.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la. Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in the zone. Auto.
So what if I need a new one? We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone. Auto.
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi. My daughter invited her entire class to her birthday party. Can my Wi-Fi handle it?
Oh, well, at Xfinity, our latest gateways have tri-band Wi-Fi technology, letting you connect hundreds of devices at once.
No way. So if all the kids are watching stuff on their phones, well, their parents are sharing videos online.
Yep, go ahead and watch videos. They can all do their thing and party their way. No problem.
Oh, we are gonna need a bigger cake.
Now through March 4th, get fast, reliable Xfinity Gig Internet for $25 a month for 1 year with no annual contract and Wi-Fi equipment included when you add an unlimited mobile line. And ask how to get an eligible free 5G phone with trade-in. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Requires PayPal and auto-pay stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced mobile speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Data thresholds and actual internet speeds vary.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, 2 locations, Sandy and Hurricane. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Mountain America Expo Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington County Legacy Park. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates. This weekend only. Mountain America Expo Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. Washington County Legacy Park. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. 2 locations, Sandy and Hurricane. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Mountain America Expo Center, Washington County Legacy Park. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
How many things affect your life as much as slow traffic and bad weather? Listen tomorrow morning for traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s on KSL News Radio.
Welcome back in. It's Cougar Nation, sponsored by Central Bank. This show is for you, BYU fans, and we open up the phone lines, which we never do on a Cougar Sports Saturday. So if you want to get live on the air, sharing your thoughts about this BYU basketball team and or answering the question of the night, how does the Marriott Center atmosphere change against a top 25 team for BYU Hoops? We'd love to hear from you. 801-575-8255. Before we answer this question ourselves, Mitch, though, I think we do need to quickly address that seismic NBA trade. Tell us where you were and your thoughts, because I can't remember anything like this happening in the NBA to this scale and this size. It was truly crazy to see someone of Luka's status and stature traded at that age in his career.
Remarkable. It's going to be one of those moments. I'm glad
the Jazz are a part of it.
I'm glad you bring it up, because when you say, where were you? Because I remember 17 years ago when the Lakers traded for Pau Gasol, and that changed the NBA landscape. I was at Walgreens and Draper, and I got a notification, an email notification on my T-Mobile Sidekick 3. Yes, that's how long ago that's been. So this situation, I was in my office. I was kind of poring over some Big 12 basketball box scores and things like that, and then I see that news, and I'm thinking to myself, what? Like, I double, triple, quadruple checked if that was the real Shams Charania, and sure enough, it was. And it just, I couldn't believe it. Just to see those type of superstars being traded in season one, and then just usually there's a windfall of picks, and they'll only give up AD, and I say that lightly. I mean, AD is an incredible player, but Luka Doncic, I mean, to be only turning 26 at the end of the month, and the Lakers get that. The Lakers always seem to find a way to get superstar players. That's just, they have this incredible ability, whatever it is, and some people want to put on the conspiracy hat, tinfoil theories, but they find a way, and Luka's a Laker, and it's going to be must-see stuff. I mean, that's going to be, I'm going to be captivated to see how that plays out, and And you wonder, too, how much Danny Ainge, a former BYU Coug, now obviously working with the Utah Jazz, how much he truly knew. I know there's been reports that he knew basically nothing about this, because if he had known Luka was on the market, he's giving up every asset that the Jazz own to get that guy. It's pretty wild stuff how secretive it was.
It truly was. In a day and age where it feels like everything leaks and you have an idea of something coming. Speaking of leaking, we're starting to see some leaks on the Big 12 football schedule that's going to be released tomorrow morning. Everything leaks, and yet this just comes out of nowhere, this huge trade, and for the Jazz to be a part of it too, that's going to be a trivia question, I think, for a long, long time. Who was the third team in this seismic NBA trade that gave up nothing and took on nothing? It's like I don't even know what role they played other than maybe salary matching, but just a crazy moment. You don't get a lot of those in sports when it comes to transactions. Maybe if you're lucky, one or two a season, but to this stature, it never happens. It was crazy.
Maybe, Matt, do you want to see the next phase in college basketball and college football construction trades? Is that the point we're going to get to eventually? Hey, you might be enjoying your major here at BYU, but we're trading it to Utah.
No, I do not want to see that. Excuse me? Someone's in a final. Pull him out of the testing center because we're getting him on a flight immediately.
Oh, that's great content. That's good content, Matt. We need those videos. We need the social media videos.
Excuse me, player number 0. Put the test down, put the pen down, and get out of the building now.
I hope we don't get to a point where college sports is dealing with trades, but it's wild times. You never say never with any of this stuff anymore. And one thing that I'm glad that we never say that this happens is BYU basketball hosting big-time games at the Marriott Center. You know, in the West Coast Conference, outside of Gonzaga and St. Mary's, there wasn't much of this. And tomorrow night, BYU hosts the top 25 team, but a historic program. The Arizona Wildcats come to the Marriott Center for the first time since 1998, and it begs the question, how does the Marriott Center atmosphere change against a top 25 team? Do you believe it changes much?
I don't think it does. And honestly, that might come off as a negative, Mitch, but I really think it's a testament to this fan base that has embraced basketball ever since Jimmer Fredette came in and had that historic year. We've seen some teams, like you mentioned, St. Mary's come through, and that place is rocking. And we saw that a lot last year, even against teams that weren't top 25, great atmospheres. I think this fan base, don't sleep on this fan base as being a good basketball fan base. They will show up for games that aren't necessarily top 25 teams. Now, when a team like Arizona comes in, I do think that people will be in their seats sooner than later, because sometimes it is a late appearing crowd to some of these games, especially these weeknight games. But when a top 25 team comes to town, I think you'll expect a packed house. It's full, but I do believe that this fan base shows up night in and night out, and that's a testament to them.
That they do. I do believe that these games against top 25 teams and maybe programs that have a little bit bigger brand on the logo do get the students revved up more. And to your point, this is a smart fan base. You know, BYU fans, they understand the moments. This is a fan base that when a player goes on an incredible run or has some great defensive performances, they'll give a nice ovation to those players when they get checked out of a game. I mean, they follow the trends. They know the history. They know when a record's being broken. You know, they get that. But I do think the student section goes to another gear of intensity, and I can't wait to see what The Rock looks like, because I have a feeling with it being a late night tip, that's right in their wheelhouse. They're revved up for a late night tip off, unlike most of us old folks who are probably like, 9 p.m.
I'm dreading it. I went to bed at 9 p.m. last night. I'm dreading this.
9 p.m. tip's going to be a bit late for us, but the students are going to be hyped, and I imagine they'll probably be loaded and sold out 90 minutes before, and Arizona will probably be thinking, what? This is way different than the Pac-12, where all these venues were empty when we would roll in, and I think that's just great. And I think that, this is a dream of BYU fans for so many years. I mean, you're telling me that in a stretch of a couple weeks that Arizona, last week it was Baylor, in a couple weeks it's going to be Kansas, are on the home schedule for BYU basketball? Matt, just 2 years ago, we were trying to hype up the idea of Oh, San Diego's going to be tricky, man. It's going to be tough. They're Ken Palm top 150. You don't have to sell that. This is Arizona. This is Baylor. It's Kansas. Like, come on now. This is big time.
Let's get out to the phone line, Mitch. Mike in West Jordan, how does this Marriott Center atmosphere change when a top 25 team comes to town?
Yeah, hi, guys. I was thinking of a couple things. I remember when Mark Few came for that big game, I like to call the blue game, he said the BYU Rock came in 2 hours before the game started. He said that impacted my players, I think, even in the warm-ups, let alone the game time. I also think of Coach Pope. After a big game when we would win, he would comment on the Rock and the impact it had on the free throw shooting and the impact it had on the game. And I think a lot of the people that have paid attention to this realize that we're almost like the 12th man for Texas A&M, but we're the 6th man for BYU. And if we step it up at the right time, we yell and do what we can to rattle the players, it can actually have an impact on the game. But I've even noticed in people around me that if it's a big-time part of the game and we're struggling or we're behind, you hear people yelling constantly, screaming. The crazy guy next to me, for example, is always yelling at the tops of his lungs. And I noticed that you really step it up when the game's on the line. So I think for a game like this that's so important and has such a high weighting, I think it's going to be a big difference in the atmosphere from your typical game.
Thanks for the call, Mike. BYU comes into this matchup 6-4 in Big 12 play on a 4-game win streak. And Arizona, they're tied for first place, 9-1 in Big 12 play. So, yes, this is a big game. And Mike's right, Matt. I mean, the Rock does play a huge role in these games, particularly the free throws. I know that's become almost a little bit funny thing this year with the whole Chick-fil-A free chicken. Back-to-back games, they've been getting free chicken with missed free throws. But it's a great venue, and it gets loud. And when it's energized, like I expect it's going to be on Tuesday night, man, it just makes for some great memories.
I just wish it was at a better time because no one on the East Coast is going to watch this to see a great atmosphere. But nonetheless, let's not complain too much. Arizona's coming to town, and we're playing meaningful basketball games in February. It's a beautiful thing.
Just a couple weeks ago, we'd have thought this matchup might have been, BYU could be completely out of sight, out of mind, not playing for much. And to be in a position where they're now in brackets again, and Arizona's near the top of the Big 12, it's exciting times for Cougar Hoops. Cougar Nation sponsored by Central Bank. We'll take a break. On the other side, we'll get to what's trending up and trending down for this BYU basketball team as they get ready to take on the Arizona Wildcats tomorrow night, 9 p.m. tip, and you can listen to it right here on KSL. More after this.
Good evening, 6:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Jeff Kaplan. KSL's top story this hour, President Trump has agreed to a deal with Canada and one with Mexico, pausing the tariff on goods entering the U.S. for 30 days. Both countries agreeing to strengthen border security with both troops and tech. But the president's leaving open the possibility tariffs will still be imposed in a month. That makes New Jersey car dealership owner Tom Paoli nervous. He says steep tariffs are going to raise car prices about 10%.
On top of 7.5% interest rates to carry the vehicle when they finance it or lease it. So, yeah, consumers are getting hit very hard in the U.S.
Utah experts are warning the tariffs would have an impact on both businesses and consumers here. KSL News Radio's Adam Small explains.
World Trade Center Utah President and CEO Jonathan Friedman tells me if a Utah business manufactures and imports from a country with, say, a 25% tariff imposed, they have to pay 25% more, which means they'll likely have to charge customers 25% more.
Trade wars are real and they're expensive.
He also says tariffs impact our ability to buy goods from certain countries, hurting people not only here but outside the U.S. as well.
And Friedman says if history's any indication, some tariffs can stick around for years. Coming up, it's going to be windy and it's going to be warm again. The KSL weather forecast beyond that is coming up next. KSL News Time, 6:31.
Bills stacking up at your HVAC system's gone. Gillette Services has the perfect solution. Install a new high-efficiency system and get a $1,000 rebate the very same day. That's right, $1,000 in your pocket just for upgrading. And the best bet, you don't have to make a single payment until 2027. Don't miss this limited time offer. Call 385-GET-HEAT for your free estimate. Gillette Services. Comfort now, pay later.
Carrier, turn to the experts. A Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Buy 5 quarts of Castrol Edge Full Synthetic Motor Oil and get a $15 gift card after rebate, plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song.
April breeze, give me my biggest tax refund, please. You, me, and a lifetime accuracy guarantee.
And now get $100 just to try Jackson Hewitt. Does your tax person do that?
Say goodbye to that no guarantee tax guy.
Ready to sail through tax season? Go to Jackson Hewitt and you'll be limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Visit the contest page on KSLNewsRadio.com. This week, win tickets to the Utah Symphony's Bravo Broadway, February 14th and 15th at Abravanel Hall. Don't miss unforgettable show tunes from musicals like Hamilton, Wicked, Phantom, and more. Or win tickets to an upcoming Utah Jazz home game. Plus, win a shopping spree with a $100 Amazon gift card. Text the word contest to 57500 or go to KSLNewsRadio.com/contests.
Join the smartest conversation in Utah, the team of analysts and political advisors that make up Inside Sources. Get unfiltered analysis of the new administration, the president's cabinet, and Utah's upcoming legislative session. Inside Sources, weekdays from 1 to 3 on KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Mountain America's limited time balance transfer bonus. Here's Eric Butler.
Got a touch of northbound I-15 slowing coming from the Spaghetti Bowl, the turnoffs to I-80 and 201 highway heading up to about 1300 south. That's about it right now for freeway delays. You have a little bit going on in Utah County at the Pleasant Grove Boulevard exit on the northbound side, but those delays that we had over on Bangerter Highway and Mountain View Corridor are largely gone now. A little touch of southbound slowing on Mountain View approaching 3500 south. Heading out to Tooele County, no problems on I-80 and I-80 through Parley's Canyon, looking good. For a top quality kitchen or bath with top quality craftsmanship, call 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. They're always on time with no delays and meet all deadlines. Visit 3daykitchen.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather, 51 for your overnight low, then a record-setting 64 tomorrow. It'll be the 50s for Wednesday and Thursday, the 30s by the weekend. Right now, 64 degrees. I'm Jeff Kaplan, KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM, 1160 AM, and KSLNewsRadio.com. This is Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Be ready for BYU Game Day. Download the KSL News Radio app to stream BYU games, plus breaking news during the week. That's the app for KSL News Radio.
Welcome back into Cougar Nation here on KSL News Radio. Mitch Harper and Matt Baiamonte with you. Every Monday night we hold it down here on the legacy home of the Cougars, talking BYU hoops. And it's your show, Cougar Nation. We want to take your phone calls, 801-575-8255. You can get on board with us, share your thoughts about how the atmosphere changes at the Marriott Center when a top 25 opponent rolls into town, or just give your general thoughts on this BYU basketball team. It's your show, so call in 801-575-8255. But right now, let's get to what's trending up and trending down with the Cougs.
Cougar Nation, trending. What's trending up and what's trending down this season?
Let's start with the negatives, Mitch, and then we'll end on a high note, the positives. Trending down for me is Dallin Hall. What is going on, Mitch? I cannot figure this out. He plays over 24 minutes against UCF. 1 field goal, 0 of 1. Gets to the free throw line, 1 of 4. I like that he's taking care of the ball, 5 assists to 2 turnovers, but I'm not seeing any aggression. And I thought after that kind of breakout second half against Oklahoma State, we were going to see that guy more times than not, but he seems to have regressed back into this passive role, watching Yegor kind of run the offense. I can't figure it out because he plays a good chunk of the game without Yegor, and yet we still don't see that aggressive Dallin Hall. And Kevin Young has talked about this for weeks. Like, they want Dallin Hall to be aggressive. They love aggressive Dallin Hall. They want him to drive to the basket and shoot the threes, and yet we're seeing too many performances where it's 1 field goal, 2 field goals. There's not enough impact from Dallin Hall right now, and this dude, I believe, is a upper echelon guard in the Big 12. I don't know if he's ever going to be first team caliber, but you can't tell me he's not one of the top 8 point guards in terms of talent and impact in the league, and yet you've got nowhere near that production from him this year. I cannot figure out what's going on with Dallin Hall, and unfortunately, he's trending in the wrong direction.
You're right. It just seems like he's not aggressive and looking for his shot at all, and it's just so puzzling because you bring up being a potential all-conference guy. He was last year, honorable mention All Big 12, and when you're in that conversation, you're a top 10 point guard, and when you're a top point guard in the Big 12, that means you're one of the top guards in college basketball, and he's just not a threat offensively right now. And to your point, I do like that his ball movement's still good. He was still second in the team, tied for second with 5 assists, along with Mawot Mag and Yegor Deming with 6 assists. But even late in the game, Kevin Young has a lot of trust in Dallin still, despite maybe the lack of aggressiveness on the offensive end, because late in the game, Yegor and Dallin are on the court together. But even when it's not with Yegor, there's still just not much offensive production from him. And that kind of got highlighted, too, because when we talk about trending down, I want to point out 2 other reserve players. Dawson Baker, he had a little bit of a step back. I thought it was one of the rare off nights for Dawson. He was 1 of 5 from the field and 0 of 4 from 3, 0 of 3 from free throw line. I don't think we're going to have another night like that from Dawson Baker again, but that was a little bit of a step back from him when he was getting his name a little bit in some of the headlines. And then Cannon Catchings kind of reminded us he is a freshman, and it's not a consistent product every single night with him yet. After a perfect performance, he goes 0 for on shooting. But I did like what he contributed on the defensive end, 5 rebounds, and I thought he was being active on the defensive side of things. So he's improving there, but the offensive game, like many freshmen in college basketball, it's up and down every single night, and that's kind of one of the reasons why Catchings is coming off the bench still, and Mawot Mag is comfortably in that starting lineup and playing some big minutes for BYU.
Trending up for me is Keba Keita. I thought he had a nice game. 10 points, 7 rebounds. He had some big free throws in the second half, and I just think that his fit in this scheme is becoming more and more apparent. He played 8 more minutes than Foose did in that game, and Foose is going to have his games where he's a matchup problem, and he has it going, and he plays more minutes. But I think night in and night out, you're starting to see Keba's willingness to set hard screens, to rebound, and then it doesn't hurt when you have a couple monster late-game blocks that protect the rim as well. I loved his playmaking at the rim, completely shutting the door on any UCF chance at a slight comeback after Dallin Hall missed those 2 free throws to keep the door open. Foose closed it. Keita closed it. And I like the way that he's playing. I think he's truly emerging as that rim-running, rim protector, alley-oop type guy for Kevin Young's scheme.
I like the comment, too, that Justin Young, Kevin Young's brother, and he's also the director of recruiting at BYU basketball, he shared something on X about some of the greatest athletes he's been around. And this is noteworthy because for people that aren't familiar with Justin Young, he was at the grassroots level recruiting, heavily involved with, covering some of the best prospects to come through the high school ranks in, say, the last 25 years or so, and he put Keba Keita in his top 10 athletes that he's ever seen in person. He put it next to Zion Williamson, Josh Smith, Aaron Gordon, Dwight Howard for some perspective. So Keita is awe-inspiring. I mean, every game he has a play or two that just kind of blows me away. I think we talked to Chris Burgess about this a couple weeks ago where we asked him, do you ever just kind of get numb to these wow moments from Keita because he seems to do it all the time? And Burgess just said the guy's incredible how explosive he is. And it was nice to see him getting a little bit more done on the offensive end beyond just simply the alley-oops. Like, he had a little bit of touch around the rim. Yeah. And he knocked down 2 big free throws, too, late in the game. I thought that was impressive from Keba as well. I got to point out, my trending up is just the fact that BYU navigated its lowest point, what I believe is the lowest point of the season, the loss to Utah, the loss to TCU. Yet they're at the midway point of the year, Matt, and they're 6-4. And to have a winning record at the midway point after the manner that they were losing games where they could not find any answers in close calls, they got hammered at Houston, like many teams do. I just think that I believe that their toughest days as far as the low points of this group are behind them. Now, they're still going to have some losses. This is a tough schedule ahead, but I think that you look ahead in these next 10, BYU could be favored potentially on the high end, I think, in 8 of these 10 games going forward. The predictive metrics love BYU. They really do. And they've been high on them throughout this entire season. And Kevin Young talked about this gauntlet of a schedule in the Big 12 and the 20-game slate that he's navigating with this team, and even drew some comparisons to the NBA.
Obviously we have the built-in Sundays off, which has actually been a real nice thing, quite frankly. So we try to sprinkle in other days off where people don't get run down and things like that and try to keep everything fresh. So the 20-game gauntlet, it is a gauntlet because it's just a level of intensity in each game. That's one of the big differences of NBA regular season to college regular season is there's very few nights where it's not just going to be a dogfight. In the NBA, you get cupcake games all the time because guys are on back-to-back, this, that, the other. There's so many variations of what each game looks like, whereas in this, it's, if you don't bring it, you're going to get smacked.
Great commentary from KY, and I think it illustrates why college basketball still kind of has that fun element of what's the word I'm looking for here, Mitch? It has the – gosh, the English vocabulary, it's fading from my mind. But
passion?
No, not passion. Urgency is what I'm looking for. There's urgency in college basketball that you don't quite get in the NBA. Even today, as the NBA is approaching the NBA trade deadline and the All-Star game this month, is there any urgency? Like, most teams are still in play to get to the postseason, whereas BYU, for instance, since losing to Utah, has pretty much been in a situation where we got to crank it up or we're going to run out of time to qualify for the NCAA tournament. They're in a much better place now. Still not a finished product. They have to go out and at least win at least 4 more conference games. If they can get 5 or 6 more, I think they're squarely in the NCAA tournament. But you love that urgency because a game like tomorrow against Arizona, it has tremendous value and impact on your ability to play in the NCAA tournament. And the focus is there, the fan base is going to be there, the attention's going to be there. And being in the Big 12, Mitch, we get – how many of these games do we get? Out of the 20 they're playing this year, are 14 of those 20 games, do they feel like the ones that are going to feel like tomorrow? Because that UCF game felt that way. It was urgent, it was important, and the team responded. We get a lot of those in the Big 12, and it's just fun to have so many of those games that feel big, because I just don't feel that in the NBA right now, but I love that we feel that for BYU in the Big 12.
Let's talk more about that big game coming up tomorrow night, BYU and Arizona on the other side, and Cougar Nation is brought to you by Central Bank. Central Bank serving Utah County for over 133 years with trusted service, modern technology, and personalized care. Central Bank, proud sponsor of Cougar Nation. Give us a phone call last moment to get on board with us, 801-575-8255. Share your thoughts on this game and the enhanced atmosphere at the Marriott Center, what that brings when there's a top 25 opponent that rolls into town. It's Cougar Nation here on KSL.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
For over 133 years, Central Bank has been a cornerstone of Utah County, providing generations of families and businesses with trusted community banking services, and are more than just a bank. Central Bank is part of Utah's legacy. With 12 convenient locations across Utah County, Central Bank combines the strength of traditional customer service with the convenience of modern technology. Customized one-to-one service means you're never just another account number, and your phone call actually rings to a real person.
Hi there, thanks for calling Central Bank.
Voted best bank and best mortgage in Utah Valley, Central Bank is here to help you with all your financial needs. From top SBA lending services for small businesses and quick turnaround times on construction loans. They're dedicated to helping you build your future. Whether you're cheering for the Cougars or building your dream home, trust the bank that's been here since the beginning. Central Bank, strong, local, secure, since 1891. Online at cbutah.com or any of 12 Utah County locations. Central Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Are you in search of a fulfilling career where you can work on a team that provides you room to grow, learn, and thrive every day? Focus Engineering and Surveying is looking for individuals to join their team who take pride in the customer service they provide and have a passion for their clients to be successful. No experience in engineering, CAD design, or surveying? No problem. Focus will train those who fit their team culture for rewarding careers in surveying and CAD design. If you can align with the core ideology and the Focus team culture, if you're internally driven, team-oriented, client-focused, and love personal development and growth, Focus Engineering and Surveying is the place for you. Enjoy a positive work environment and paid internship opportunities, plus fantastic benefits like great health care with 80% employer-paid premium and HSA matched up to $200 per month, 401k, vacation, even annual performance bonuses. Start your journey towards your new and fulfilling career. Apply now at FocusUtah.com. That's FocusUtah.com.
The biggest hunting show in the West is back, along with Utah's top 200 hunting permits for just $5 each application. It's the Western Hunting and Conservation Expo in Salt Lake City, February 13th to 16th. Visit with hundreds of guides, outfitters, and exhibitors. Book a hunt, see the latest gear, and best of all, you can apply to hunt Utah's biggest bucks and bulls for just $5 each. It's all at the Western Hunting and Conservation Expo, produced in cooperation with the Utah Office of Tourism. Get tickets and details at huntexpo.com.
All the other programs out there push the drugs, and I wanted to do it not using drugs.
Worried about all the side effects from the new weight loss drugs? Let Soda Weight Loss help you let go of the weight for good, without drugs, injections, or side effects.
It was just time. We saw ourselves in a picture and said, let's do it. And he called, and it's just been a wonderful journey. Soda has all the parts that made it successful for us to lose weight. The counseling without drugs, it's the best program in my book.
Soda Weight Loss is the #1 weight loss program in America for client satisfaction and results. And we have the proof at sodaweightloss.com. Right now, when you join with a partner, you only pay for one. Let Soda Weight Loss help you drop that belly fat faster than you ever dreamed, naturally. Go to sodaweightloss.com right now. Achieve your weight loss goals with your partner and only pay for one. New clients only. Join now at sodaweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com. Soda is state of the art.
Getting help with electrical repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Cougar Cougar fans, use this radio station tomorrow morning for important news updates. Listen to Utah's most important radio station tomorrow morning from 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
Cougar Nation here on KSL. Mitch Harper and Matt Baiamonte. It's the last chance to get on board, folks. Last call, 801-575-8255. Share your thoughts on BYU basketball. We also want to know our question, how does the Marriott Center atmosphere change against a top 25 team? BYU last year was 3-1 against top 25 teams. The lone loss was to Houston, but they notched 3 victories against San Diego State, Iowa State, and Baylor. And they got another opportunity, the first of the season this year in Provo. Arizona comes calling, number 20 Wildcats, 9 p.m. tip right here on KSL. You can watch the broadcast on ESPN. What are your thoughts, Matt, on BYU taking on Arizona?
I love the matchup. This last time, and probably the most vivid memory I have of this game. Mind you, I'm in my 30s, so I don't have this rich Rolodex of Wildcat Cougar basketball. But you remember the one up at the Delta Center where Derek Williams was coming into town against Jimmer Fredette, and this Arizona team was a high-flying, and early on, Williams had this massive dunk and saluted the fans, but ultimately it was BYU getting the job done. I love that this game is being played at the Marriott Center, because if they weren't conference opponents, I don't see how you ever get Arizona here. And now you get to enjoy a true home court advantage against a blue blood program. And if you win this game, too, I think it gives a lot of credibility to this program, to Kevin Young. Is it the Super Bowl? Is it akin to winning a conference tournament game? No, it's not to that level. But when you beat a team like Arizona that is ranked at home, where everyone expects them to come in and win, and they've had some nice wins lately, Mitch, some really nice wins. There's a reason they're top of the conference, and it's not out of luck. They're really talented. They've got a dynamic star offensive player in Caleb Love. I think they're deep. They're athletic. This is a great game. It should be a tremendous atmosphere, and I just love that we're getting this game at the Marriott Center, because I didn't go to the game where Jimmer popped off down in Tucson for 49 points. I didn't go to that. The one I went to was at the Delta Center, and that's the best you could get in non-conference play against Arizona at the time. Now you get him at home in the Marriott Center. That's a big deal.
It is a big deal, and I remember that game. I remember there was that was also the game where Matt Carlino was on an official visit, and he was being dubbed the next Jimmer Fredette. It was that was a big deal. I remember watching the 2009 game where Jimmer popped off for 49, and I was on a Tucson radio station today, and the host of that show was saying he's been going to Arizona basketball games since 1977 when Arizona was in the WAC. And he said he's never seen a standing ovation like that for an opponent. Jimmer still has the McHale-centered record, and you think about the talent that's rolled through Arizona, and to have that record, that's pretty special stuff. But I even remember that 1998 game. I was there when Arizona last visited the Marriott Center, and that was an epic game. Mark Bigelow was a true freshman, and Arizona was at the heights of, you couldn't have had two more opposite programs. 2 years removed, BYU was the worst team in college basketball at 1-25. Arizona was 2 years removed from being the national champions. Arizona was in their heyday of knee-high socks, the cats on the socks. I loved Arizona back then, and BYU hung tough with them, and that was that game that had that unfortunate cheap shot elbow, Eugene Edgerson, Bart Jepson. I mean, I love Arizona basketball. I love their history. I love that passion of that fan base for that program. I think they are just such an awesome fit in the Big 12. Next to Colorado football, among the four corner programs, Arizona basketball was the biggest get that the Big 12 acquired. And you're right. I love seeing this game be played in the Marriott Center, because it would have never happened had it not been a conference game, and to get a brand like Arizona rolling through the Marriott Center, and it is a big deal. And to play talents like Caleb Love, who you noted. Caleb Love's a big-time player, a senior for the Wildcats. He had a huge game last week in their win over Iowa State, knocking down a 60-footer to send it to overtime. This was BYU coach Kevin Young on the challenges of slowing down Caleb Love.
Yeah, I mean, he's an electric player, very experienced. He's a guy that can, erupt for 30 on any given night, explosive score, and they give him a lot of freedom. And he'll put a challenge on us collectively. It's not just one guy. We got to do a job on him and try to, not limit his, his shot attempts, but I just think, trying to make everything difficult for him. I think that's the best way to try to disrupt very good scorers, is just try to make them really have to work super hard for everything that they get.
Do you give the initial assignment to Mawut Mag to slow down Love?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great tactical move by Kevin Young. And you have the ability to, with Richie and others, to kind of mix those coverages, but I think you start with Mag and kind of see where it goes. And I liked his commentary, too, earlier today, that you don't necessarily try to take the ball out of the hands of a Caleb Love. They're so gifted offensively. At the end of the day, you just have to make them work hard. And I think BYU does have 3 capable defenders that they could throw at Caleb Love. Mag is a great one. Richie Saunders, I think we all know how fantastic he is. And I think, too, maybe throw a little Trey Stewart into the mix and potentially pick this guy up full court. Trey Stewart got a shout-out today from Kevin Young for his defensive ability and his willingness to take on a role that is not heralded on this basketball team. He played 8 minutes against UCF. So